and it used to be a parts store back then.
John Escobel's parents purchased this brick building in Granada, Colorado in the mid-1980s.
And we just gutted it out and we was going to open a pool hall in there.
His father got sick and those plans stopped. The building, known as Newman's Drugstore, has sat vacant ever since.
My in-laws bought it back in 2016.
Next door at what's called the Fish Market, a similar story.
They saw it as an opportunity.
Those opportunities have not materialized for Vanessa Mejia's family either.
There's not much people, so running a business here would be kind of hard.
It wasn't always this way. These two buildings once anchored a vibrant economy. But it was an economy tied to a dark chapter in American history.
Japanese American incarceration is a difficult story. They're forced out of the American West, the coastal states. They're moved inland, and that's done without legal proceedings, without being accused of crime.
Over 7,500 internees found themselves at a camp called Amache.
That was one of the 10 big World War II Japanese American incarceration camps that's next to a town. Grenada and the camp are walking distance.
You can see the camp water tower from town. That fostered a relationship which did not exist at any other camp.
There was a regular exchange of people.
Mitch Homa's family was interned at Amache.
Townspeople would come to Amache for like sporting events, to go shopping at the co-op, to see movies at Amache. And of course, the Amache people would go to town to go shopping at the Newman's drugstore and the Granada Fish Market.
That's when these two buildings earned their notoriety. Edward Newman moved his drugstore into the two-story brick building when he learned the camp was being built.
He knew there would be a lot of people there and that they would need things.
Bonnie Clark has studied the relationship between Amache and Grenada for the past 20 years.
He got this entire warehouse of sake and sold it out of the back at the drugstore. They were an important tie to your Japanese identity, especially when you needed to celebrate special events.
The fish market opened in 1943, run by two internees who had been released from the camp.
You could get, traditional Japanese noodles. You could get things like soy sauce.
And as the name would imply, fish.
And one of those foods is abalone.
A shellfish traditionally eaten at celebrations.
Think about not being able to have a turkey at Thanksgiving, to not being able to have abalone at New Year's it just takes away from the whole experience.
The markets offered a lifeline to the internees.
A sense of normalcy, right? That I can go to a store that caters to me and people from my background in this town, in this place that I didn't choose to be.
They also helped ease tensions in the community.
After a while, you didn't even need a pass to walk to town. My dad remembered the guard saying, "Just be back before dark so we don't have to go look for you."
After the war ended, both businesses moved to Denver, where they continued successfully for many years, leaving the buildings behind.
While the buildings are outside of our boundary, they're part of the story.
In 2024, the National Park Service took over operations of the Amache Internment Camp historic site.
Right now, we're cheerleaders. We see that those buildings have the capacity to really, enhance the story that the park is telling, tell it better.
The Park Service wants to help the building owners find outside partners with the resources for future restoration.
They need a purpose. A purpose will preserve them.
Saving an important part of the complete Amache story.
The resiliency that incarcerees showed, through the fish market and many other stories they're inspiring. They're extraordinary.